Wait, it's MaddoxTalks Lite. It's kind of like Max Talks in a podcast too. Episode 1, of course, because I'm too lazy to do a full episode. No video, one take, all improv. Well, today's first episode is a 10-minute episode because Bandicam, and all episodes will be 10 minutes because, again, Bandicam compared to the 20 minutes they'll have on the full episodes. And I'm going to talk about how a cult following can improve revive a failed cartoon. Well, the most notorious example is the Looney Tunes show. The Looney Tunes show failed upon its original debut in 2011. I mean, we had YouTubers like Ben the Looney. Yes, that Ben the Looney. Called the show awful. And say that the show doesn't understand the Looney Tunes. The reception was poor. People were making fun of the characters. Calling Bugs purple. Because, he kind of is purple that season 1 of the show. And saying that Bugs isn't even Bugs in the show. It's just... And people theorizing that Bugs in the show is actually just Buster Bunny or some dumb theory like that. Like, Buster Bunny. Not Buster from Harvard, but Buster from Tiny Toons or some dumb theory like that. Like, yeah. And so, it got so controversial that once it got renewed for a second season, mainly due to the high ratings it got from casual viewers, they turned Bugs back to gray. And the colors were made of a more yellow-green scent than a purple-pink scent. So the reception definitely did improve. Although I'm one of those people who prefer seasons 1's art style, to be honest. It just has more of its identity. And, yeah. But, and people were happy when it got canceled. But over the last few years, it began to grab a great big cult following. I mean, I don't know where it started. I've proposed it started around the time when the infamous Big Chungus meme became popular. And people realized that Big Chungus was already canon in the Looney Tunes. In a 2013 episode, a 2012 episode of the Looney Tunes show, where Bugs becomes fat. And people noticed. And so people decided to delve more into the show. And the more they delved, the more they loved. That's how I apparently figured it. People realized stuff in the Looney Tunes show is kind of like Looney Tunes. But on steroids, actually. Bugs and Daffy are, instead of big, fierce arch enemies, they more or less are still arch enemies. They argue a lot, but live in the same house. In fact, some people theorize that Bugs and Daffy in the 2011 Looney Tunes show are gay. And I could definitely see that point. Yeah. And also, even without Bugs and Daffy, the side characters are interesting. They turned Speedy Gonzales into a pizzeria owner. And while it may sound like they're trying to take on the reasons why Speedy Gonzales was even allowed back into the Looney Tunes in the first place, it's actually a pretty great development for the character. Even when taking account the Mexican fan-based character has, even taking into account that, pizza's Italian, not Mexican, but if you look, one of the episodes is just the backstory of Pizzeria, where Speedy bought the pizzeria from some Italian dude. And honestly, I kind of find a great change of pace to have a Mexican fully running a restaurant with one-handed, all by himself, that's not a taqueria, unlike what most shows depict. So yeah, it's a great change of pace. So like that, Mexicans can single-handedly run restaurants that aren't Mexican food, like tacos or stuff. And yeah, it's a great character development for Speedy. And we have Porky, which she's a really interesting character in the show because he always seems to be the Megward the Wizard type character, with him getting the short end of the stick every time. In fact, the episode that really grew the beard of the Looney Tunes show was all about Daffy Duck accusing Porky of being a murderer, simply because Porky has Daffy Duck pictures as well, just because Porky and Daffy are best friends. As you know, Bugs is kind of a jerk to him, just like in the old shorts. So, yeah. And we have little buddy being reintroduced. But I was like your daddy's little buddy, where she's just only there to attract the male audience and the female audience at the same time. She actually has a character trait. She's a dumb valley girl. And it's a dumb valley girl stereotype, a dumb blonde valley girl stereotype executed right. As it finally shows Bugs with someone who he's legitimately annoyed about. I mean, Elmer Fudd always is just a dim-witted person. It barely even appears in the show. Yosemite Sam appears in the show way more often, but he's just too loud for really cohesive arguments to coincide. And Daffy just too much of. And Daffy's just too much. It's just really just the opposite, kind of the synonym antonym of Lowell's personality. Like, weird. Daffy doesn't really seem to have a stalker crush on Bugs, yeah. And yeah, well, that's beyond the point. I mean, I'm feeling like a video should really be made on it, like, I think I have a plan for season 1, but if it's not season 2, so I just can't leave it up there. And, well, there's some other examples of how co-falling safe shows, like Invader Zim. Invader Zim was considered too dark and gruesome and too expensive for Nickelodeon constantly be pumping out and producing. Like, SpongeBob is a lighthearted show that's cheap to produce and gets amazing ratings, even back in its heyday, even back in the pre-movie eras before it really became a meme hit. It still got amazing ratings, unlike Invader Zim. And yeah, and I mean, a whole lot of Nick's catalog really got attention from, Cold Fallings. Like, had it not been for Cold Fallings, All Grown Up would have just been known as the terrible Rugrats reboot. But now it's actually kind of known for really just expanding on the characters. Some people still hate it, but there's a lot, many of the Rugrats fans that just grew on it. Heck, some of them even grew on the later season of Rugrats, but let's be honest, no one would grow on preschool days. Also, the 2020 reboot still stinks, so that's something you're gonna have to deal with. The 2020 reboot still stinks, and the preschool days will forever stink. Will forever go down as terrible. Anyway, well, 8 minutes in, we're almost at the tail of the video, and I could say that Cold Fallings definitely can improve a fan base. Like Cold Fallings are just definitely great. Like, Cold Fallings, yeah. I love Cold Fallings. Yeah, like, heck, House of Mouse is starting to get a Cold Falling due to all the Disney crossovers these days. And Buzz Lightyear's Star Command is also starting to get one due to the new Lightyear movie coming out. And people were remembering the Buzz Lightyear show from when they were a child with. And starting to remember characters that were just forgotten, like Booster or XR or XL or Miranova or Warp Dog Matter or Zurg played by the guy who played out or the Squeeze Toys Aliens, known as LGMs on the show, and a lot of other stuff. Yeah, well, that's basically near the 10-minute mark, so, yeah, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I really hope to get out something out the MaddoxTalks full series by this week, I hope, maybe, probably, yeah. I think I better take a shower now. Bye! See you next time!